What a big weekend. We'll get to all of this in a second, but for now, hello. I'm Adrian, and welcome to the #1 João Felix fan club. That's right, guys. I'm converting this channel to a João Felix fan page very soon. But for now, you'll still get to enjoy Rabona TV's weekend recap. For now. And they're back. Shout out to our sponsors for the weekend recap in OneFootball, the best app in the flippin' game, to keep you up to date on the latest breaking news from your customizable feed, where you can watch highlights, check scores, keep up to date on the go with live match tickers. So much more than that is all offered in the app. And if you're interested in this free app, the link is in the description, and that gets you a download on iOS or Android. Alright boys, and the 4.9% of you that are girls, let's start in the Premier League with the North London derby, which was sort of overshadowed at times by the officiating in this one. Spurs were in need of a good result, given the 2 L's they collected coming into this match, while Arsenal had won 3 on the trot across all competitions. Intriguing stuff from the off, but like I said, it was the officiating that was the biggest talking point of this one for both sets of fans. Xhaka, with a different referee, could have seen red for this knee-high cynical tackle. Kane was offside prior to the penalty that was given to Spurs. For me, the Aubameyang penalty at the end of the match was not enough for a pen, so it's perhaps a good thing that it was saved by Lloris. However, Vertonghen, who intervened on the rebound, was almost level with Aubameyang when he struck the penalty, so that muddies things even further, as it probably should have been retaken due to the encroachment. Not probably, it definitely should have. In fact, if you don't believe me, here's the official slide from the FIFA rulebook stating that if there's encroachment by the defending team and the ball goes in the net, it's all good. But if it doesn't, then it should be brought back and retaken. Of course, it shouldn't have been a pen in the first place, so who cares? 1-1, pretty fair score in my book, as the game was completely mismanaged by the referee and ruined an entertaining encounter. Elsewhere in the Prem, Professor Romelu Lukaku continues his run as the menace of the bottom 10 teams.
Yeah, man.
As he led United to a 3-2 win against Southampton with another well-taken brace for the big man, looking good with his right foot these days actually, and to me, he should have had the opportunity to get that hat trick at the end of the game, but Pogba took it, and Pogba missed it. But Solskjaer's insane run continues as he is yet to taste defeat in the Premier League. In fact, his only loss as United manager is still the 2-0 loss to PSG in the Champions League. I mean, just look at their form under Ole. 16 matches, 13 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Chelsea made it 2 wins in a row after defeating Spurs midweek, as they defeated their local rivals Fulham. Not so much on a sporting level these days though. Fulham recently sacked manager Claudio Ranieri. I think he should just retire, to be honest with you, but anyway, maybe that's harsh. Chelsea probably would have hoped they would win by a bit more comfortable of a scoreline, considering the horrible season Fulham is having and the turmoil the club is in right now. But Jorginho scoring, Higuain scoring, plenty of opportunities generated. Good stuff for them, but still, you'd expect a little bit more. Sarri actually has a decent run of fixtures now to get some confidence up and improve Chelsea's form, as they avoid their top 6 opposition in the league until mid-April. Though they do have a tricky match against Wolves coming up. That will be an interesting one. Brendan Rodgers marked his return to the Premier League with a 2-1 loss away to Watford. The crowd was a little hostile towards him after how he left things there. City got a 1-0 win away to Bournemouth. Bournemouth didn't get a single shot in the game. Period. Not a single shot attempted, while City had 23. And of course, the Merseyside derby had me begging for mercy. Shit joke. And has continued its habit of offering up crap matches lately, as Everton and Liverpool drew 0-0, and Jurgen Klopp offered up another crap complaint, saying that the wind wasn't very helpful for his team on the day. I know he said it wasn't the reason they didn't win, but bringing it up just is hilarious to me. Salah blew some big chances, no more goals to speak of there, and no surprise really. The Merseyside derby has had me jaded lately. I don't really look forward to that fixture anymore. So, with that, Liverpool relinquish their lead at the top of the table as City overtake them by 1 point. Spurs are now 10 points off the top. United and Arsenal and Chelsea are as close as ever. The real race in this league is for 4th. La Liga, the most obvious place to start. El Clasico, of course, the 1 millionth of this season, as Real Madrid look to bounce back from their midweek embarrassment at the hands of Barcelona. Now, of course, Real Madrid had the lion's share of chances midweek, but couldn't take their opportunities, which was ultimately the death of them. This time around, the flow of the match was much of the same, with Real creating more chances, but having no bite, no finisher, like a Cristiano Ronaldo or something like that. Yeah, I think he'd do. You know who would do for Barca on this occasion? Ivan Rakitic. And what a player he has been, man. He eclipsed Modric in 2018, in my opinion, and he's quietly going about his business again for Barca this season. Playing to the right in Barca's midfield, he benefited from 1, young Vinicius not tracking back, and 2, Sergio Ramos playing a bit erratically in this match and overcommitting. That said, so much credit has to be given to Rakitic for the calm, cool, and collectedness he showed with that dink over Thibaut Courtois. Absolutely dinked, my man. So, that was all Barca needed to win this one, and can I just say, take a bow Ray Hudson, as after the goal he said, "There's no defense here, gone missing like the kids in the Blair Witch Project again." Oh! Hud love. Hashtag it. But back to Sergio Ramos, a guy who plays on the edge of the rules, which can be a boon to your team, but can also simply be a burden when he is on the edge and collecting fouls and cards. He probably should have seen red in this one, with his elbows flying around again, finding the faces of his opponents, but his decision-making left Real's defense exposed on a few occasions, most notably in the first half. No big surprises here, really. After the midweek Clasico, Barca grabbed the win, their 3rd consecutive away win to Real Madrid, while Madrid are yet to beat Barcelona this season. 5-1 loss in October, 1-1 draw in the Copa del Rey, then the 2 losses in the Cup and the League this week. Atletico Madrid versus Real Sociedad, the Antoine Griezmann derby, which saw Alvaro Morata continue his excellent performances for Atletico Madrid as he has finally shaken off the ghost of the VAR system, as well as the general anxiety in front of goal that he was getting while at Chelsea. A brace in just 3 minutes for him on this occasion, as of course the first was scored with his head, diving well to put the flicked corner into the back of the net after Atletico had relinquished a ton of opportunities in the early minutes of this game. I just said relinquished twice in this episode. It is in my brain now. The second, it was scored with, yes, his head again, as another set piece was the undoing of Sociedad, with Morata climbing the highest to head the ball straight into the ground and in. That, my friends, was how this one ended. 2-0, 5 appearances in La Liga for Atletico, and 3 goals for Morata. He looks happy, rejuvenated, and a genuine threat with the service he's getting now. Sevilla. Another week, another crap performance from them as they lost 2-1 to Huesca. Getafe got yet another win as they defeated Betis 2-1 as well, and so the table is as follows. Barcelona have a 7-point lead on Atletico, while Madrid finds themselves 12 points adrift of first, and Getafe is gaining on them. They're only 6 points behind Real now. It's real nervy hours. Imagine if Getafe finishes ahead of Real Madrid. I can't see it happening, if I'm honest. I think that Madrid will turn this around, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. Seeming like one of those ones for Real Madrid this season. Okay, Italy now. There were a couple of big matchups in Italy, so I want everyone to be on their best behavior here, alright? Listen up, everyone.
Because daddy's gotta talk.
Inter got things started out on Friday away to Cagliari, a team that is struggling once again this season. Inter, they have problems of their own though as far as certain personnel go, but have been decent results-wise. Except on this occasion, in which they hustled and harried, but still ended up on the wrong end of a 2-1 scoreline. Hell, it could have been worse if Cagliari's Nico Barea didn't miss a 91st minute penalty. And like I said in the last episode, or maybe a couple of episodes ago, don't be surprised if their neighbors pass them. And that's exactly what AC Milan did this weekend with a 1-0 home win against Sassuolo. To be honest, it wasn't a very good performance from AC Milan. You never want your best player to be your goalkeeper, and Christoph Piatek was an absolute mere mortal in this one, finally failing to score for Milan. And speaking of teams that share cities and stadiums, the Derby della Capitale was this weekend, with both teams coming into it not at their full powers. Sure, Roma has turned things around as far as domestic form goes, but if we've learned anything about them this season, it's that they're unpredictable. They lack consistency. Lazio, on the other hand, after their great run last year and just missing out on the Champions League, they've fallen off the boil a bit this season. I mean, the losses of Stefan De Vrij and Felipe Anderson will do that to you. They're big holes to fill. But it was the blue side of Rome that waltzed to a comfortable victory in this derby. Comfortable on the scoreline at least, because it was a pretty even match as far as the flow of it went. Caicedo and Correa got the start for Lazio, with the former grabbing a goal just 12 minutes in. Immobile came off the bench and scored a penalty in the second, and Cataldi added a third, right at the death, for a massive 3-0 win for Lazio. And finally, the other big match of the weekend was first versus second, Juve versus Napoli, and this has got to have been the lowest stakes first versus second ever. Coming into this 13 points ahead of their rivals already, Juve got things kicked off at the San Paolo with a goal from a Pjanic free kick. Important to know that Alex Meret, the Napoli goalkeeper, was sent off for hauling down Ronaldo while he was in clear and bound to score. I'm just amazed that Ronaldo let Pjanic take the free kick, and this just shows that he should be taking all of them. Ronaldo is good for maybe 1 free kick per year or something like that, so let the others like Dybala and Pjanic take it. Pjanic at the disco. So, a goal and a man up, and Juve made it 2-0 in the 39th minute with Emre Can powering a header past Ospina. It looked as though it could get ugly from there, but Ancelotti really turned things around at halftime, and Napoli were by far the better team in the second half. It did help that Miralem Pjanic got a second yellow just after the half to even things up on a personnel level, 10 on 10. Jose Callejon made it 2-1 in the 61st minute, and the pressure was really on from there on out. It all culminated with an 83rd minute penalty for Napoli that Insigne stepped up and smashed off of the post. Juve hold on despite getting completely dominated in this match as far as both possession and chance creation went, but title-winning teams win even when they don't deserve to, and that's exactly what Juve is, a title-winning team. They have the pedigree. But you've got to be worried if you're a Juve fan, as these performances, these crap performances, are really starting to stack up, and it's just a matter of time before they have to meet their maker against Atletico in the Champions League, which they could be out of. The league pretty much wrapped up. Let's talk about that though. So, the table looks like this. Juve, if they weren't already, as I just alluded to, are basically confirmed champions with a 16-point lead. This is crap stuff to see. Milan jumps ahead of Inter by a single point, and it's all very congested from 5th through to 9th. Serie A is looking like the Liga competitively. Okay, the last stop is in the Bundesliga, and we'll start with Dortmund, who got things started off this weekend in preparation for their mountain they have to climb against Tottenham in the Champions League on Tuesday. Well, you would have thought that things would have been easy for them as they were playing against bottom dwellers FC Augsburg, who, while they recently gave Bayern some trouble, still lost that game. They are still a pretty crap team that's conceded 46 goals in just 24 matches. But as I said on Twitter, and hey, follow me on Twitter, guys, Dortmund loves to donate points to the relegation battle fund, and they couldn't help themselves on this occasion either. Not only were they feeling charitable, but they were outright generous with Augsburg, giving them a 2-goal head start and then trying to right the ship. 1 goal was all they managed, and Dortmund dropped points again. Their form is very worrying as they have just 2 wins in their last 6 matches now in the Bundesliga, giving Bayern every opportunity to catch up. Which, by the way, they did exactly that, as Bayern made a massive statement in smashing Borussia Mönchengladbach away 5-1. The most emphatic of statements, which I think will take a massive psychological toll on Borussia Dortmund. As their performances wane and they struggle to get wins, their rivals and the team that is chasing them is getting win after win and great performance after great performance, and they just smashed one of the teams that was right on Borussia Dortmund's tail for much of the season. We saw a similar psychological battle go down in the Premier League as the exact same situation has happened to Liverpool. It's much easier to chase than it is to lead the pack, and both Liverpool and Dortmund are feeling the effects of that right now. Eintracht Frankfurt got a 3-2 win at home to Hoffenheim, who always seem to lose these high-scoring matches or end up drawing them from a leading position. I mean, for those who don't follow the Bundesliga, just look up the Champions League results for Hoffenheim. They score goals well enough, but my God, are they ever hopeless at defending and riding out results sometimes. What makes it even worse for them? They were leading 2-1 until the 89th minute when Aller leveled things, and then in the 95th, Gonzalo Paciencia was picked out at the back post and headed past Baumann. 3-2 win for Eintracht Frankfurt. Also, a big shout out to Bayer Leverkusen, who, based on their last 6 matches, are one of the most informed teams in the league despite their extremely shaky start. They got another win this past weekend, defeating Freiburg 2-0, and they've climbed right up the table to 6th now. Bosh. Speaking of positions, the Bundesliga table has Dortmund and Bayern tied. RB Leipzig and their 6-match unbeaten streak are 3rd, with Gladbach and Frankfurt just behind them. Alright, that's it guys. No time for a bonus league today. No time to talk about Benfica versus Porto, but I mean, nothing happened there. We haven't leapfrogged them or anything and taken first place back. João Felix isn't that good. Bruno Lage, he's clueless. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see. Don't get any expectations. If you enjoyed this video, then smash like. If not, dislike is right there as well. If you want more from me, hit subscribe. And don't forget to join us for some Champions League watch-alongs this week. We'll do 2 of them. Why not? Because I love you. Career mode is coming back as well. I'm Adrian, this is Juan Felix TV, and take care.